can't be discounted, not to mention the Ezreal. But on the PSG side, I mean, they've got tools to try and deny getting bursted down themselves. I think if you see a Lulu, LeBlanc does not seem very attractive in that case.
Yeah, and LeBlanc has been played globally, so it's not like this pick is coming out of left field.
No, but it's definitely not as good as it used to be.
But only 53% win rate across our top leagues. So it's not exactly doing well, but, you know, it's technically got a positive win rate.
Yeah, it still exists, and there's no Lissandra. You know, this is something. Let's see if Lazar can do it. I mean, we were gonna talk about how, you know, like the no-name win condition. You know, we got a little excited for the Yuumi, but at the end of the day, it all gets pulled back to Lazar. The black hole is still in effect.
Yeah, somehow it all comes back to that mid lane, and at the very least, you know, Gory hasn't been a laner to hard punish people in lane. So maybe Lazar
That's true.
Is able to get out of the lane, is able to start roaming, and then find some impact. So I like, you know, it's a risk that SEM9 clearly had in mind for this final pick, and they opt into it. So we'll just have to see how things pan out for them.
I'm curious to see what Arashi can do with this Wukong. Obviously, he's already lost a game on it this split, but it is a champion that puts out a lot of value. We know Bury is, as a player, you know, I think you called him a bit more of a caretaker, especially while he's getting used to a Mandarin-speaking team.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is an opportunity for Arashi to have a lot of early game impact. That was something we expected from him on last split SEM9, when he had to do a lot more heavy lifting. But now with the jungle having so much impact, not just in the early game, as we've seen 2 games in a row, but also just in general, I think this could be a chance for an Arashi hero game.
Yeah, and already, like...
Oh boy.
Look at Unified's items. He has himself a cult.
And he's still harassing.
And this is what you can do with the Lulu Zeri, because you have so much range, right? Unified able to poke out with Qs, but one of the highest damage auto attacks from the support role is that Lulu, and you also have that great poke range coming in from the glitter lane. So all in all, this is a very oppressive laning duo. And on the flip side, for Ezreal Yuumi, it's all about scaling, right?
Yeah, they need to survive.
Yeah, especially anytime you lock in a Yuumi. It's about getting through some of those early levels, make sure you get to level 6, and then attaching onto your jungler and try and make plays with them. Or in this case, attach onto your LeBlanc and hope LeBlanc has a completed first mythic to really start popping.
Yeah, well, Lazar has been able to punish Gory a little bit early on. We did see, as we tabbed over for just a second into that mid lane, bit of a play. Keep your eyes, though. I want to see if Arashi gets in to the lane early on. Bury, I don't know if he got spotted on that ward.
He is getting pinned down.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so they see him. So they know he's at Crab.
Yeah, so it will be a Crab exchange, and so far, you know, nothing too exciting coming out from these junglers, which is, I feel like, good news for SEM9, because the other 2 games, we had disasters happening through the jungle position that sent the game careening. And so far, the game is still being played.
Yeah, that's true. It's 4 minutes in. This game's still happening. But no, I mean, SEM9, I mean, like, you're right. When you're facing down an opponent that is just nameplate-wise so much stronger than you, a quiet early game, not a bad start. They are playing for the scaling. You know, with a few exceptions. I think Lazar probably not going to be as interested in the late game on this LeBlanc, unless he gets fed out of control. But he does force Gory to back, right? I mean, he's going to be able to match that, obviously, teleport timers and everything. But keeping a look at the game state, I mean, this is not an insurmountable difference. Unified and Kaiwing, for all the pressure they put out down bot, they didn't force Shidodo and Ashin out of lane.
Yeah, which is great, especially for Ashin, who has been punished very, very heavily during the lane phase, getting caught out in weird spots, overextending, just not quite understanding how to play bot lane. But you can kind of understand why he was brought in, because map movement wise, this team wasn't very good at moving around the map, so they needed some help in that regard. And if you're just trying to look for a win, like, yeah, definitely go ahead and take that chance.
He's the coach, or previously coach of the team as well, and I feel like he's doing a little bit of elimination, right? And I think that Yuumi is actually the perfect coach champion, because you just sit on the back of somebody all game, you get to tell them what to do, and you never have to worry about dying until they do.
Yeah,
and at that point,
I died
it's
because you died. It's your sins, not mine.
I like it. I think it's perfect. Yumi's the coach champ. All right, but this game, as you mentioned, fairly quiet in the early. I think that will change as soon as level 6 happens, but Arashi's not going to wait that long. As he looks for a play onto Gory, they won't find it, so it's just going to be the lane tax.
Good harass, gets that mid priority. We'll see if they ship. Well, it looks like they want to use that priority to cash in onto the top crab and maybe set up some sort of dive. Gory level 5. And for the side of PSG, they have vision control bot half, which is why they're turning their attention towards this dragon. And now Gory, it's really just all about making sure Gory doesn't die. As long as he doesn't die, this is a big positive trade for PSG and exactly what they're looking for.
Using the map control they've got. Actually, look at what happened in the mid while that was all going down. Lazar and Gory actually trading closer to even than Lazar would have liked, so
I expect Lazar probably tried to stop his back and ended up taking a turret shot.
Yeah, it's been probably. But you can see the improvement from this player as it was so much more a net negative in the spring split, and it's Lazar had a hard time finding his footing in the league, especially in the last meta. This time around, he's been able to take it to Gory, at least keep even with him, and of course opting this long pickup. We're still waiting for it to yield results, but we'll see.
Yeah, and lane-wise, everyone is pulling up somewhat okay. Top lane, you can kind of expect the GP to suffer just a little bit. Definitely outscales later on. And down in this bottom lane, I mean, that's where kind of the biggest CS discrepancy has been. But you're not too worried, right? It's still the Ezreal who has a cheaper build into the crit build coming in from the Zeri pick, so you should be, when it comes to item spikes, still on pace.
Nice start. This is I think the first time today we've been able to just kind of kick back and relax. This is going to be chill League of Legends for just a bit. PSG, they've kind of just realized, all right, we don't have to get the kills. We can just get the out farm. Maybe we'll find an opener. No Name does drop the cannon barrage as he gets chunked out by Meganar Hanabi. Even Hanabi's having a good time, and I think this was a game. This was a split where we were thinking, okay, maybe this is the return of Weakside King Hanabi, who doesn't seem to have looked quite as good. I was curious if that was due to just this changing team dynamic with Gory getting a lot more resources and doing more damage, or if it's just the meta shift doesn't really favor him.
Yeah, certainly, his top champions still playing a big part of the meta, but a lot of the counter picks just really aren't up his alley. As we'll see. Okay, no fight to actually break out here.
He was looking for maybe the smite steal away and maybe denying the Herald, but instead they'll just watch it go down. So PSG, it's almost like we're watching PSG last split. They're just slowly building up little advantages that are going to become insurmountable. It's a 400 gold lead. It's not that much, but they do have objectives on the map. They do have pressure. Arashi looking for an opening. He's the one who has Ajin on him right now, but Unified and Kaiwing have gotten out to safety.
Yeah, and he's going to be level 7. Yet to find a big play, of course. Now he has the ultimate available, but will be able to get yet another crab. So he's been able to get a lot of crabs.
Do crabs win games?
Sifu. To a certain point. Yeah,
it's true.
So
but here's the thing: PSG got the biggest crab. They got Shelly.
Yeah,
that's worth at least like 5 regular crabs.
It's about to be worth even more on the next patch, which is going to be next week when we get Velvet. I'm interested to see how many players will go ahead pick up Velvet, because it is such a...
Okay. Shitoto. Okay, not going to go down just yet. Kill pressure not quite there, and it's always a little bit hard to dive in Ezreal, especially when he has the Yumi tagged onto him. So, gets away, but you can start to see the farm advantage building, and as we get back to it, 10 minutes, no first blood. This is some chill League of Legends on the PCS channel. Yeah. But you're right,
back to Velvet.
Velvet's going to be exciting. The fishies.
Yeah, I've got, some questions about if the champion itself is actually good, but certainly when you get one of those Rift Heralds, the power of the rubber banding that you can have is definitely immense.
Speaking of rubber bands, Gory slamming it down as he sticks to Lazar quite well. Final chapter down bot. Shidodo is going to find Unified, but they still do damage right now. So it's kind of love taps back and forth, and that's the big Gnar into No Name. You can't get the orange out of that one, my friend. And there's our first blood as Gory with the dive down. Lazar getting punished.
Yeah, dies there. Arashi will be able to get those minions. I don't think he's actually gonna
2 levels
go in though. Yeah,
but I mean this is feels bad though. You pick a LeBlanc specifically because you think you can outplay Gory early. And you get first blooded.
Yeah, and now this is where the opening is going to start. Opening up as we get to see. I think this was the first trade. I don't think this was the actual kill.
Yeah, I wanted to see. This was like the start. He gets a lot of damage.
Yeah,
he slams it down. Yeah, this was just the first trade, but I think we're going to see the rest of it as the Herald is happening down bottom. What happened here, Lazar?
Just plates down in that bottom. It's still fine, but
yeah, but there's the extra gap close. Gory just knows how to play.
He just doesn't respect it. So it doesn't quite know the damage limits coming in from Silas, and that's going to be a costly death. So SEM9 going to be set a little bit off kilter, but can they grab this kill? This would be massive for them.
Burry's able to get away though. He does have that
move
power
speed too much, but now Gory, he's very far forward.
Low again. There's the root down. They have the damage. Looking for more. They can't quite find it as he turns around, gets the kill, and the outplay. They might just punish him for it as he steals away a Cyclone. Arashi gets revenge, but a 1-for-1 trade for the outnumbered Gory.
Yeah, and they lose bot tower as well. So, SEM9, at least they go for a play. Unfortunately, it doesn't pay off very well. And PSG, even though CS-wise, the CS gap hasn't ballooned that much, but the big difference has been the plates. As we can see in the bottom left, they have 9 plates to 0, which is half of this gold lead. It's like half of this gold lead. So
yeah, this is huge.
That is where most of the pressure is coming from on the side of PSG, and then add in the small CS advantages they do have, that makes up the extra. And they're going to also get 2 dragons. So SEM9 now, this is the critical point because you're about to get your mythics completed. And on 1 mythic, that's where you need to see this LeBlanc start to take over.
Might be a little late for that, I feel. I mean, they can set up a play. Arashi was able to get a kill back, but Lazar just has been outplayed by Gory right now. We're going to see Arashi moving up to try and defend this turret, but it is so close to falling, and the Wukong has just not been able to find those engages. It's really just been aftermath. Gory gonna look to hunt down No Name as he abducts, absconds right back to it. He doesn't even care about those barrels, and he's sitting on a cannon barrage of his own, but No Name walks away. The pressure, though, continues as PSG just starting to shove around the map, and it's, about a 4K gold lead, or close enough to it, Nightstar, mostly off plates.
And last, I assume that's probably 1 or 2 HP there.
That's a single-digit tower right there.
But yeah, so far, Lazar dying 2 times. Not exactly, we expected a lot more from this pick. Not necessarily from Lazar, unfortunately.
Well, this was a weird flex, right? We thought, okay, yeah, that's fine. He flashed a Talia to get some good roaming. He's been stuck in lane and he's been fired out. This was a gamble that did not pay off, and he's running out of time to make it work. Here we go.
Yeah.
Looks for Unified. Finds the chains. That's gonna be the root, but no kill threat.
Yeah. because when we look into the inventory, Lazar doesn't have the mythic complete, so he is definitely not quite there with his possible impact, and that means we're going to get a second Herald for PSG. So PSG fully dominating the objective game, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's Gory lobbing down the cannon barrage, mostly because I would assume that it was about to time out. So makes sense there. And now for SEM9, what's your next move? It has to be around this dragon in 2.5 minutes from now, right? Hopefully by then, Lazar has his mythic completed. I would assume it's going to be the Ludens, because you need to be able to pop somebody. The Everfrost, while has some utility, it really defeats the purpose of locking in the LeBlanc Yuumi combination, right? That combo is supposed to try and overkill someone, not underkill.
Yeah, we were kind of hoping to see, like, you know, some roams out of this LeBlanc, maybe try to snowball in a lane or try to, like, you know, catch somebody out overextending, but SEM9 just have not been that proactive. I think Arashi has tried, but they just haven't been able to get to the picture, get to the play soon enough. Hanabi down bot. This could be the play, maybe setting something up. They will open up, but he nars him right back in.
Surprise!
It's going to be Arashi going in for round 2. The hop, the skip, the flash. Going for more. Another cast, and Arashi whiffs it.
Yeah.
That's going to be Shelly charging up topside. And, you know, one of our stories coming into this, Nightstar, the fact that Hanabi has been maybe a little bit forced on the weak side. Well, he's had absolutely no trouble this game against No Name.
Yeah, this game, it hasn't been an issue. And I mean, for Arashi, it's been really hard to try and influence these lanes, right? Because of the fact that he hasn't been able to, he didn't get to punish anyone during the lane phase, and afterwards, like, there's no lane for him to play around. There's no CC.
The lane ended really early.
He has to be the CC and the damage, which is so hard to do as a jungler, because usually you're lacking one or the other.
Yeah, and I'm starting to question the draft a little bit here, right? Like, you know, this Ezreal for Shidodo is you know, is gonna be able to do some damage later on, but it's not gonna match what Unified can do. They let the Twitch fall through, and they picked the GP into the Gnar, which, like, sure, that's good late game as well, but it hasn't really held up to Hanabi. And then this LeBlanc is the real head scratcher, finally sitting on the Ludens, but I mean, it just never really was able to do much to Gory. It was like pre-6 pressure, and that's it.
Yeah, and this fight is everything for SEM9, because you finally hit your mythic power spikes all across the board, and now maybe you can find a pop, but it's still so difficult.
They're not moving for
I mean, it's not only the shield bow coming in from the Zeri, but it's also the fact that there's a loop, and
they're just giving it up.
They're giving it up. So
uh-oh.
That was their one timing window. I would have said is their chance, and they've ignored it. So I don't know what we're waiting for, Pyre.
I don't either, man. This is, you know, we came into today talking about SEM9 having more of an identity, having more of an understanding of their win condition. This looks like Spring Split all over again. This is a worry. As Arashi gonna get stunned up against the wall.
No Name
manages to get away. No Name's chased down by Hanabi, looking for the Gnar. He shoves him right into Unified, and oh, it's League of Legends by the numbers for this PSG Talon squad. They might as well be hitting target dummies.
Yeah, when the game is this slow, of course, you know, it feels good if you are the projected worst team, because it gives you time to breathe. But unfortunately, like, PSG, this is their comfort zone. I mean, this year, we've just known them to be incredibly slow-paced team. Even when they get leads, they don't just shove it down your throat like a J team. They don't just end the game on 24 minutes, at least not usually.
Whatever the opposite of full sending it is, that's PSG.
Yeah.
Usually. I will note, their Deep Cross game, their win against Deep Cross Gaming was like 26.5 minutes, which, like, is not terribly slow even in this meta. But yeah,
PCG helped them out, though.
That's very true. There was a bit of an assist there. The CFO game was a lot longer. It was about 33 and a half. That is very late for this one. But let's take a look at this replay again. Like, now that they have just been on the lead, Arashi realizes, oh no, this is a bad place to be. And No Name realizes a little bit too late as Hanabi with that full Narbar going on. Oh boy. Austin can't really do much, but hey, Austin's not dying this game. Give the man credit.
Well, he does die here, but he hasn't.
Eventually.
He hasn't had as bad of a game, and part of that I would definitely attribute to the fact that he is on the Yumi, and you can understand why they had Arashi and Ashin in that area, right? Because of the fact that, hey, we want to protect this GP pit. Burry just goes ahead, steals it away. We can see that
that's insult to injury.
Burry hasn't like forced any plays, but he's been, you know, clinical when he's needed to be, and such as just making sure the smite lands.
Exactly. And this is the PSG game plan. Just make sure everybody's doing the job, and we will be able to win because we've just got not only better players, but building those advantages. It is a game plan that works really well when your opposition cannot throw you any curveballs, cannot do much to you. We saw them lose out in the fight.
Force.
That was game costing. This is going to be the force. Can they make it happen as Kaiwing gets deleted off the map? No Name managing to get the kill on that one as they also find Jidodo.
Oh god, this is 2v5.
PSG,
2v5, do it!
I don't think they were ready for it. Nobody was ready for it, but SEM9 finds something as they quickly take 3, looking to kind of complete the sweep on this as Gory runs for the hills, caught by the chains, goes in for the desperation play to turn down Lazar, who manages to stay alive at the last second. They will get 4 and now rush for the Baron. That is the turn.
Oh my god. All of a sudden things just got way spicier than we expected, Fire. It is going to be 1v5. Gory doesn't have the teleport, so any help from Hanabi is going to be hoofing it rather than going to be there instantaneous. So SEM9 should be able to get this. The matter is, Hanabi can he 1v4?
Oh, remember, if he gets in the wall, they get the smite down, but still doing so much damage, and they've got to get out of here with it. Okay, everybody flashing Arashi, he leaves the clone behind. It's fine, it's cool. But that was close. What? This game just went... This game went 0 to 60 really fast, Nightstar.
Oh, that was... But the thing is, that was an intentional play coming in from PSG. It's not even like, wow, Burry, he made a really big blunder. No, you can see the intent. It was, guys, we are face-checking that bush. Unified's on the same page, Kaiwing's on the same page. They really wanted to face check that bush. And let's just say the end result is they should not have wanted to face check that bush.
No, they were feeling themselves, they were feeling confident. We were just talking about how PSG are not the team to take the unnecessary risk. Well, they did that time, and it bit them in the behind. SEM9 now in the game, have a chance here. Have a big golden fusion, but crucially, it's Soul Point at 23 minutes. They gotta fight for this.
Yes, that is one of the small problems that they are facing, as it will be Cloud Soul on the table, which is, I mean, it's not like a huge damage threat here, and maybe that's why they've given it up, but it's just so hard to compete against Cloud Soul Zeri.
Okay, here comes Gory to try and set up with Stolen Cyclone, and the rest of PSG coming to play as they look for the chase down.
Gory.
They will be able to find Gory on the SEM9 side, but what will they pay for? Is Burry looking to lock them up? 3 members quite low over there.
Oh my!
Dodo gets lasered down by Unified, who gets revenge for the earlier fight. The Nar shove does manage to find only Arashi's clone, but he's got nowhere to go. No. And down he falls. The shutdowns come left, right, and center. PSG Talon.
Yeah, Unified left untouched, even though he is a quarter HP. Definitely still has a lot of power when left unchecked by these solo laners.
Oh boy.
They're coming back into this.
Yeah, you got to keep the Baron for a little bit. So 1 tower taken by the Baron power play, and then they lose 3 members. Can't quite get the one in the mid lane, but SEM9, as I've said before, even despite all of this, they are in a far better position than they were prior to that fight that PSG started.
Yeah, Gory starts things off, jumps straight onto Lazar, but doesn't have really all that much burst damage. So he jumps in and gives them a scare, but Lazar is able to stay in the fight. And this laser, this is why Zeri has come straight back into the fourfold, because the mobility and also how much damage that zap does now. So
it's a big
it's a big zap.
Yeah, you guys think you've seen Jinx from Arcane. How about Zeri from League of Legends? What a big old laser she's got. 25 minutes on the clock. It is a Cloud Soul. It is a 4,000 gold lead for PSG. It is not snowballed out of control, and a lot of that is in towers, which are left standing on the map for SEM9 as Lazar. I know we said he was less of a liability. I think he's back to being a liability. Nice star.
Hey, at least you've got a Yumi.
That's true.
It heals you,
yeah,
you know?
No name is like silver linings, right? Like, no name is going to be big. I think Arashi has come up with some good plays, as this time he finds the smite on the red buff. And yeah, the Yumi is going to enable some of your damage dealers, but it does feel like they might end up playing this game mostly 4v5.
Yeah, it's, I mean...
Unless Lazar finds a pick.
He's waiting for his next item, which is going to be the Frozen Heart, knowing that, hey, there's a lot of AD threat, at least towards me, so I'm going to go ahead build this Frozen Heart. The issue is, of course, Unified does do a decent chunk of magic damage, and there's always the threat of Gory. So he's got to space incredibly well against those two champions. Otherwise, I mean, Gory, he's got so much playmaking potential, right? Now he has the Zanyas completed. He can go into the backline and then into stasis to stay alive. The synergy, being able to get an extra rotation off with the Archangels is really, really nice and keeps him very healthy in combination with the Conqueror. So a lot of sustain coming out, and so far it's kind of just been the Punk Chainsword coming in from Arashi to cut down on that.
See if he can make it happen. I think Arashi has been able to find some good plays, but unfortunately for him, Gory has looked even flashier with the Cyclones that he's stolen away. He's become the big primary engage for PSG Talon, where Hanabi can follow up and they can just keep on going. However, SEM9 still have a chance in this one. Arashi waiting in the wings to see if he can set up a play as he's joined by Ashin. Shidodo keeping the waves clear as they're just trying to stop the PSG push. 45 seconds till the Baron spawns, and I feel like that is going to be a pretty big objective play. SEM9, they've given up a lot of these for free, though. The question is, will they do it again?
I mean, for sure, you have to contest Elder Dragon, right? Maybe you don't contest Baron. Even that's a little bit questionable because it's second Baron. Or actually, no, because they got the first Baron, so you're not having that extra snowball power. But you don't have a great wave clear against Baron minions. So even a Baron buff is going to be tough to fight against. It's just a matter of which fight do they opt to take. That's the real question, because Baron's about to spawn, but of course the Elder, which is, I would say, the bigger focus, still has 90 seconds.
Yeah, and I don't think you're taking either of these without winning a fight first, right? PSG just like sniffing these out. You're not going to be able to rush it down. Vision control, of course, in their favor as they just continue to push deeper into the SEM9 jungle. Want to be getting the ward clear away. No name. Going to try to contest here. And this GP has been pretty heavily out-farmed, but does have his collector up. So 3 items. He's going to start to hurt pretty heavily, even compared to the likes of the Gnar, although you're getting a lot more value out of that 5v5. And GP doesn't even have to spend teleport to get engaged, but PSG going to take their time about this. They're going to let the Baron spawn. Maybe try to force SEM9 into a push. They
Gory.
do find Gory on the route, the final chapter. He goes golden. It's going to buy enough time for the team to arrive. Will they be able to take the play? Arashi goes in for round 2. This is going to be the fight.
Stays alive.
Will win or lose off the back of this one.
No.
Lazar goes deep. Lazar gets deleted. Ashin's going to fall next. That's the double kill for Gory. And it's coming up PSG as Hanabi absorbs the pressure. Arashi can do nothing as Gory can't quite go down.
Oh, the chain
Dodo and No Name trying to hold the line, but that is easily going to be Baron and Elder and just about everything for PSG Talon.
Oh, man, you saw the angle for Lazar. You have to respect him trying to take that angle. The issue was he got CC'd, couldn't get out, and that's not only just one death. It cost them their other big team fight power, which is, of course, the Yumi. So If they still had the Yumi up, maybe they have an opportunity to slow things down and kind of poke their way back into it. But because the Yumi also goes down on the back end, that's where things really fall apart. At first, it seemed like it was going to be a replay of when Furry really wanted to face check that bush and just die straight up, but ends up surviving using the stasis. It was an important cooldown. And then when Lazard goes in, he gets hit by the knockup coming in from Wukong, and it was just a complete flub. After that, it's just SEM9 just have to sprint as fast as they can, and unfortunately, you're up against Cloud Soul.
There you are. Zarzult stolen by Gory here. Cloud Soul on the table, or excuse me, Elder on the table. PSG already have the Baron in their pocket, going to try to just complete the collection to end this game. And it's SEM9 with the desperation fight as they try to keep them zoned off. And Lazard just can't do anything. Even with the Yumi on, they've got the root, but they've got no damage. As Dragon resets, now it's PSG with the Prio.
Yeah, teleport still available on Gory. He's looking for a recall. But
it's gonna be the Gnar denied. Teleport comes through. Here's Gory.
Gory's behind them.
Keep your eyes on the flank as he looks for the play with the Wukong ultimate. Gets stuffed for just a second, but it doesn't matter as they take Shinoto out of the fight, and PSG just collapse for the Goomba Stomp. Never mind the Dragon. That's gonna be GG.
There's definitely some hiccups here and there, but I mean, it was unexpected hiccups, we could say, against SEM9, but in the end, 31 minutes into the game, maybe a little bit more labored, but par for the course on this patch. PSG pulled themselves up to 3-1, and SEM9, you showed one flash of brilliance, but unfortunately, that's not enough against a team like PSG.
No, it is not. Gory even hitting them with the Zanyas round 2.